Okay guys, starting in 10. And that's it. Welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub, and I would like to start with the good news here. Well, we know that we all were wanting that our dear Omkar sir gets to play in the tournament on Friday. Well, I hope by now Parth knows that the tournament on Friday is for all. But we all wanted that Omkar sir should play with us for the tournament on Friday. And guess what? I've had a word with him today, I believe this morning or afternoon, let's say. And he has agreed that he will play with us. So our dear Omkar sir will be playing in the tournament. Now if you wonder if I am going to play in the tournament, no, I am going to provide live commentary. It will be covered live, but I just spoke to him, and so he will definitely play in the tournament. So he has given us a green signal, and Omkar sir will play with us on Friday. So that is going to be very exciting. Also, if you remember, the last time when he posted a lecture, it was about Sicilian Taimanov, and what I have requested him to do is that he will play the tournament obviously, and then he will look at some games from the tournament, and then he will give us the feedback about what you could have done better. There's some seniors and some juniors, okay? So that is going to be really awesome, okay? I'm very happy. So I thought that I would start with this good news first, that we have Omkar sir with us. So now Soumitra, if you are with us, you have the added responsibility of creating a proper tournament, because we want him to play, and it will be a very nice fight for all of you. It will be great. And Parth Hardankar, it is for all, again I would say. And now for this session, again there is something important I would like to share. In today's lecture, what I'm going to do is, when I play the game, I will reveal something special. What I want to talk about is what is my technique of selecting the next move. How do I make up my mind? Okay, this is what I want to play. How do I decide that? So I go by a certain set of rules, or rather observations, and then I decide what move I want to make. So today I am going to share those points with you. If you want, you can just mentally make a note of it, because there are 4 to 5 points, precisely 5 points, and they are important. Let's see how it all works when it comes to our lectures. So I'm sure you are as excited as I am. We are going to go straight on to leeches. We are going to go for a classical time control, and let us see if I have leeches running in. Do I have the leeches stream, or as usual do I have to hunt for it? Let me just go ahead and get the leeches stream. Okay guys, so let's go to leeches, and now you can clearly see, you can see me also in the window. More importantly, you can see that here is how I select my moves. So what is point number 1? Looking for a forced checkmate sequence. If that is possible, of course the objective is to win the game. So that's number 1. Number 2, hanging pieces. I always watch out for hanging pieces, and if there is any tactic involved. You all know discover check, pin, fork, those are all tactics. So they often revolve around hanging pieces. So I look for tactics, the hanging pieces. The third point is I look for a forced sequence. That means, do I have moves that will allow me to gain a tempo? When I play the game, I'll definitely talk in detail about all the points. The fourth one is, if there is no such thing possible, number 1, number 2, number 3, they're not possible, then number 4 is development or strategy. So it's either a developmental move, maybe it happens in the opening, so you get your pieces out, or maybe a strategy like occupy an open file for the rook, or occupy an open diagonal for the bishop. So those are the developmental or strategic moves. And last but not the least, sometimes you just have to play the waiting move. So these are the 5 things that I consider before I make my moves. What I'm going to do today is, when I play the game, I will try to show you how I go about calculating the possibilities. So is that a sure shot mantra for victories in all the game? Well, no, that's certainly not what I mean. But these are general guidelines that I follow. Your playing style could be different, so you could go for a different setup or different set of rules. But this is what I normally go through. And when I say, by the way, when I say hanging pieces, I'm not talking just about the opponent's pieces. I'll watch out for my pieces that are hanging as well without support, because my opponent then could take advantage of that. Alright people, guys, kindly let me know if you are happy with today's music, because what I've done is I've downloaded 2 tracks. One is this one, we launched it yesterday, and I'm using the same one today. So during the lecture, maybe just to surprise you, I might change the track, or maybe try that tomorrow, because tomorrow is a lecture for the A batch. I'm definitely going to do that. I want to talk about one more thing today. We have our student from Kolkata, Ankit Banerjee. He is with us. So Ankit has agreed that he is going to start a section for us on WhatsApp. So it will either be puzzle for the day or move for the day. I repeat, it will either be puzzle for the day or move for the day. So he is agreed that he would do something like that. And every day there will be one position. He has beautiful positions. If you remember on WhatsApp group, he's shared lovely positions. So he's told me that he is interested in doing that. So very soon we will go ahead and find out we'll find more positions on our WhatsApp group sent by Ankit Banerjee. And he is a very what can you say, very resourceful member of our hub, and I appreciate that. Okay, so now let us get started with our game for today, and I'm going to look for a slow game. So 25 plus 0, are we going to go for that? 25 plus 0, or is it the 30 plus 0 that we want to play? This is 20 plus 10, but 25 plus 0 should be okay. No, I lost him. I clicked but I lost. Let's go to quick pairing and let us select 30 plus 0. By the way, you must have all read that Jai in the chat did cut copy paste my description that if we have time left, we are going to go for tactics. The tactics session that we do, where I'll show you the arrows with different colors. So we will do that, but if we have time after the game. So looks like nobody is playing 30 plus 0. Oh no, we have got a game, it seems. Absolutely, we have the game. And our opponent is again very high. He's 2000 rated player from Poland. He is from Poland. And by the way, I have a chance to go for the Danish gambit. So here is what I'm going to do. Now let us go for the way I'm going to make my moves. I told you already how I select my moves. Now this is the Sorensen defense. Our opponent has not gone for the typical capture. He says that I have taken 1 pawn and that is enough. I don't want more pawns. So that is quite nice. Very good. He doesn't want to win 2 pawns. Just taken a pawn and is happy now. So this is the Sorensen defense, by the way, Sorensen. So now what am I going to do here? I'm going to take the pawn on d5. And later, after he captures, I'm going to take the pawn on d4. That's the main line, of course. So let's look at his experience. He's played 291 games, classical that is, and he has played 256 rapid games and only 1 blitz game. So he is not so experienced. He's not very experienced. I told you that's the main line, and so now I'm going to take on d4. This is how practicing the same opening helps. So I knew that he is going to take with the queen. I knew that. and that saves time. Sometimes it is very handy to know such things. Okay, and now he's questioning, what do you want to do? The point is, if we make the capture, he will take the queen first, we will lose our castling rights, and he will take back with the bishop on c5. So that's the last thing that you want to do. I would once again go ahead and say to everybody, this is very important, okay? Don't go ahead and analyze the engine lines. I am not interested in that. That's never the logic. The logic is to learn how to calculate. So very basic human calculation should be involved. Very important. So just enjoy the game. Do not go ahead and be computer-like. We are humans. Be human. Okay. So let's focus. Let's go back to the game. Now here what I want to do is probably launch an attack. So the point number 1 is forced checkmate. I don't have a forced checkmate. I just have this check here, or maybe this check here, but that can be easily met with the bishop or the knight blocking it. So I don't have a forced checkmate. The second is hanging pieces. Queen is the hanging piece. So the second and the third point is very important here. However, if I play the move knight to c3, he is going to capture the pawn and with the support of the queen. So that is a very important point to note here. Very important point to note. The juniors, look at how I'm playing. Even the seniors, I've given you a feedback of some players playing very fast. Look how slowly I am playing. Invest your time in thinking what to do. So I am interested in saving the pawn and also developing a piece. So there are two moves that I can think of: bishop e3 and knight f3. I've always believed in developing the knight first. I always like developing the knight first, so I am going to go ahead and develop my knight. Now let's see what our opponent does here. I think he is not so experienced. Maybe he is not tested yet. So let's see if he shows patience, or he is one of those impulsive players wanting to play very fast. So far we have shown patience. I am happy with that. But let us see what our opponent does here. Our opponent is showing patience, so maybe he is in for a long game. You should note such things. So our opponent is attacking this pawn for the third time now, and we have got a couple of defenders. However, this is interesting. This is how chess works. Okay, so how does chess exactly work? What if I play the move knight c3 now to attack the queen? So queen can give a check on e6 to get away from it, and then I'll have to defend with the bishop, which means that after that the pawn will be attacked twice and defended also twice with an extra tempo gain. Again, I'm saying this, watch this. After I play knight c3, he cannot just take the pawn because knight will take. So what I believe will happen is I'm gaining a tempo on his queen. He has to move the queen. There is no second thought about that. So again, going to my point number 3, forced sequence. So it's third and fourth mix, guys. The point number 3 and the point number 4 is mixed here. So I want to play the move knight to c3 because that will make him move the queen, and I believe that he has a check to give, after which I can block the check with the bishop supporting the pawn. But once the queen moves out, I anyway have got the support then of the knight and the queen. The queen will no longer be attacking the pawn. So looks okay for the moment. Yeah, he doesn't have queen c4. I like that. And he has to move the queen now. So this is important, guys. We are making the queen move. There is no choice. Oh, he didn't even give the check. I'm surprised at that. He did not even give a check. Very surprising indeed. So now we have an opportunity to push. Would love to push it. Let's do this. Now this is again forced sequence. So the forced sequence is he has to move the knight. Forced sequence, he has to move the knight. I repeat, he has to move the knight. There is no other option. Of course, he can give a check, but then if he plays queen e7, I can just block it with the bishop, with either of the bishops. And now I think he has fallen for the trap here. He has fallen in the trap here as soon as he has played this. There is this pawn here. Otherwise, you know what? With this queen check, I would have picked up the knight. But the pawn is here on c5. And now, I think after I play a3, the only square for the knight is to go back on a very clumsy looking square. It's a very odd square, guys. Very, very odd square. The knight has no other square. The knight is attacking the pawn. The queen is attacking the pawn, but the knight and the queen are supporting the pawn. So that's not my worry. Again, we are forcing him to move the knight. Watch this, juniors. The win or loss does not matter. I cannot stress this enough. The win or loss does not matter. What matters is how you put your thought into the game. Again, I'm saying the third point, I am making a forced sequence here. He has to move the knight. The knight has only one square, knight a6. The knight has no other square. Had that pawn not been on c5, I showed you there was a fork, but there is a pawn on c5. Enjoy this, guys. Enjoy the game. So our opponent now is into some kind of thinking. By the way, on your screen you don't see the rating, but his rating is 2019. That's his rating, 2019, and our rating is 1981. And as expected, he has gone to a6 because that was the only square, not that he had much of a choice here. I like what I see here. Now it is up to us to come up with something good. Taking here will give the bishop for the knight. Of course, he will have doubled pawns, but do I want to part with the light color bishop so early? I guess not. I wouldn't do that. I don't like that. One thing I would like to do is to give a check, because the only move, again, look at the force sequence. The only move he has is to block it with the bishop. He won't block with the queen, and if he moves the king, well, God bless him. So the only move is bishop, really. I like what I see there. And after that, maybe I can give a check with the queen. And if he blocks it with the bishop, then I can push the pawn and his bishop is blocked. So this is how I see the moves, because I look for a force sequence. Guys, I'm sure you're paying undivided attention here. Very important on the screen. I'll share that with you again. Now what I am sensing is bishop b5 check. To stop this check, there is only one good move that I see, bishop blocking it. It's supported by the knight, by the way. Then I play queen e2 check. And to block the check, well, whatever piece he puts on the e7 square, I can attack it by pushing the pawn. Remember, the queen won't be looking at it because the bishop is on d7. That's what I am seeing right now. So I'm going to do that. Again, I'm saying the win or loss is secondary. Your planning is important. You will win a lot of games. You will also enter 2000 or my peak rating 2100, somewhere there. if you put some thought into it and maybe even go surpassing that, put your thought into your moves. Our opponent has blocked it with the bishop. Now see how many times it works exactly as per what you think. And again, we have given a check here. If he blocks with the queen, yes, he blocked with the queen. Now look what happens. This is damn good. Now what happens is his queen is pinned to our queen here, to the king here by our queen. So if I go ahead and take with this bishop, he has to take with the king. Because the queen is pinned. Our queen can be unpinned because we have a resource which is bishop e3 if we want. And also there is another possibility that after bishop takes d7 check, king takes d7, we have knight e5 check. Then maybe if the king goes somewhere, we have a forking possibility. That everything is there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. So remember, forcing, this is an exchange that forces things. He cannot take with the queen here. He has to take with the king. Forced. Now I hope you understand what is force. I'm very happy to present this in a lecture format to you. Okay? Enjoy this. Learn. Don't do anything else. Just look how we are slowly building our plan. He has to take with the king. And after he does that, I'm pretty sure that knight e5 check. We have a fork as well if the king moves to c7, and if the queen takes it, I have knight b5 fork. I'm sure that is very deep, guys. And try to understand, okay? As much as you can. The B batch guys, if this is really too much, well, just enjoy this as much as you can understand. And there you go for one more time. Our opponent has reacted exactly the way we wanted. That is what is called tempo. So anybody, let me come on the webcam for this. Anybody wondering what is a tempo? Well, this is what tempo is. For the third time in a row now, we are making our opponent move the way we want him to move. Okay, so this helps. This calculation helps. Let us go ahead. Back to the game then. Knight e5, as I had already told you. Knight e5 looks like a very nice check to me, supported by the queen. And now this is really a very important stage of the game, because now successfully we have seen to it that he won't castle. That's out of question here. You cannot castle in this game. And look at the piece development. When you are a chess player, you look at opponent's structure. The bishop is back. The bishop, and now I see a very nice trick here. How about the queen check? Again, there is no way you can do anything about it. If he puts the queen in between, well, that's a goner, is it not? So he has to move the king. Disaster. Isn't it a big disaster? This is what I'm talking about. And this is how you use your time, guys. This is how you use your time. I want you to enjoy chess. The win, loss, well, those things will happen. Let us try to calculate deep here. I probably do as much as I can. I promise you that. Well, let's say we play queen b5 check. He cannot put the queen in between because that's a goner. So he has to play something, not something. He has to play king d8. Again, I'm saying not something. He has to play that. After that, the knight will be hanging. You got to be mindful of such things. The knight would be hanging. Could we then play, maybe, I'm just saying, bishop to f4? Could we do that? So interesting here. I'm waiting because I'm planning here. That's how you have to be patient. You cannot just rush into moves. Win, loss, but enjoy the game. So I think I'm going to go with the check move. There's no doubt. I like this check move so much because it is force and he has to get again. He has to get his king to a very odd square. Very odd square, I must say. D8 is not a great square. So queen b5 check, king d8. This knight will be hanging. I wonder if we can sacrifice here. I wonder. I'm not very sure. I wonder. Or maybe then we play f4. Or maybe we play bishop f4. The knight will be pinned. Be mindful of that. Or maybe queen b5 check, king d8. We also have this check. Sure, we have that check, right? Yeah. We could have another idea, which is knight b5 and then pushing d6. I like that idea the more I look at it. Or we could castle right now. How about that? This is a very crucial move, guys. Knight b5 is also good. Knight b5 with the d6 threat. We could even castle here. Boy, am I tempted to castle here. Well, how about pushing the d6 pawn right now? Is that a possibility? If I push the d6 pawn, if he takes, then I have knight b5. He just goes back then. No, then I have bishop f4. You know what, guys? You know what? I'm going to do that. Now, this will be a very nice debate later on after we analyze whether knight b5 was good, queen b5 check was good, d6 what I am about to do is good, castling was good. But all I'm saying is we have a good game here. I'm looking at d6. If the queen takes, I go knight b5. And then if the queen goes back, then, well, after d6, queen takes, I'll go bishop f4. That looks good. That looks pretty tempting. Let's do that. We have spent a good deal of time on this move, guys. And that is the beauty of this game. As a coach, if I can just show the beauty of this game, I think I've done my job. He has come forward. He has not taken that. So now I wonder if now the move queen check is even more powerful. I wonder. Or will knight b5 now be just a crushing blow? There is another thing I want to point out here. After queen check, we have this pawn to take as well. And he is preparing to take this pawn, by the way. So interesting. How about this check right now? Isn't that still crushing? Pawn on the 7th rank. Pawn on the 7th rank. That's amazing. And now this check looks so damn good. Initiative. Let's do that. I have gone for this. This is just a check which is with the tempo. Obviously the king has to move here. Like what I see. Incredible. I'm thinking about the way to just utilize this knight in a better way. It's actually enabling exchange of the queens, which at this stage I would not like. How about no, nothing. Nothing. This check would probably invite f7. You don't want that. You certainly don't want that. Is castling good then? Finally. f4. The more I look at bishop f4, I like it because I might just castle long here in a surprising turn of events. However, at the moment, I think castling is the way to go because we are heavily down on time. We are half now in time. By the way, at the moment, yeah, the castling looks perfect at the moment at least. And as expected, he wants the exchange of the queens. He knows that this position is so bad. If we give this check, queen takes, because otherwise we are taking it. And is there a mate then? Oh, hang on, let's look at this, guys. If we give this check, the pawn cannot take because the queen is free. So if we give knight c6 check, he has to take with the queen, has to. And then we go queen e8 check. The first move is king c7. Then we get a double queen check here. Oh my god, too much to calculate. Just wait here. So we give a check. He takes with the queen. Has to do that. Otherwise I will take. And then we go queen e8 check. The first move then is the king to c7. And then we have the knight check as well. Too much to calculate here. Guys, too much to calculate. I'm going to go with knight c6. At least play an aggressive game. Now, mind you, it's a check and I'm attacking the queen. So he cannot take with the pawn. He has to take with the queen. Again, I'm saying this is initiative. Always play with initiative. Enjoy your chess. Force your opponent to take some action on the basis of what you have played. That's important. I like what I have done here, and this is all about it. This is what as a coach I want you to learn. Enjoy the tactics, enjoy the calculation, enjoy looking what's going to happen, and slowly you can build your skills. Do that. So look at the beauty of chess. He wanted the queen exchange, but I'm not going to let him get the queen exchange. The pawn on d7 is massive. So easy. And by the way, what happens if he takes here? I'm going to give a check. Calculate that line also. If king takes d7 to support the queen, I'm going to play rook d1 check just to get the king away from the queen. Then the knight controls e7. So if king takes the knight, the queen is still free. So this is what the calculation is, and that is what you need to enjoy. Again, what I'm saying is, if he takes with the king to support his queen, I'm going to play rook d1 check. If the king takes the knight, then the queen is free. And because of the knight, after he takes and I give a check, if he goes, he cannot go to e7 because of the knight. That's the point. So again, this is nice. You should be happy with the way you play. Do we get the second queen? We can push the pawn to d8 also. Remember, we can push that pawn to d8. At the moment, we are attacking the queen. Don't forget that. That's the most important thing here. He has done that. And now I think for us, there is nothing better than going for it. I mean, we have to do that, right? We have to do that. There is no other way as I see. We have played for this aggressive setup. We better go ahead and execute this. So, okay, this move again is forced. Now what do we have? Do we push this and get a queen, or do we play the check? Do we play the check? Do we play bishop f4 check? Wow, that's amazing, is it not? I'm looking at two lines here. Knight b5 check and bishop f4 check. So knight b5 check. How about knight d5 check? Queen takes. No, that's not what you want. Okay, this is nice. This is nice. Bishop f4 check. If bishop blocks, then knight check. I just wonder. This is too overwhelming. Sometimes you have positions that are too overwhelming. You know what? In any case, I suppose we are getting another queen here, because after bishop check, the king has to lose control over this square. What if we start with knight b5 check? Let's calculate. Knight b5 check. The king cannot. That's the advantage, that knight will control both the squares. So he has to come king b6. And after that, if we promote, he takes the queen. No, it's with the check. So he has to take the queen. We will take the rook with a check. With a check. Oh yes, that's with a check. Too much to calculate, guys. Too much to calculate. Let's get the bishop first, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with the bishop. Guys, this is incredible calculation going on here, but I hope I'm able to at least get the excitement going. This is what you do. And our opponent is also 2000 rated. I'm not playing with an absolute beginner. It's a nice game we have played. This is what I want to, I want you to get encouraged by. This is what it's chess. So this is quite cool here. So we have given a check. So he has no time for immediate queen capture. That's not possible because he is in check first. This is incredible. I like this setup. Okay, so he has played what we thought he is going to play. And now I have another tactical shot here. If bishop takes and queen takes, then knight b5 is a 4. So again I'm saying that he has to take. He has to take with the king, and then I have rook d1 check also. Guys, again listen to the calculation. Bishop takes, bishop check. If queen takes, then knight b5 is a fork. I'm winning the queen. If bishop takes, bishop check. If king takes, then I have rook d1 check. Also maybe pawn promotion, which is with a check. So I have no doubt that first I'm going to take here. Again, this is a check. This is beautiful. This is just beautiful. Forget everything else. Focus on how beautiful the game is going on. This is one of the best games that I have shared with you live. I can say this because today I wanted to share with you how I select my moves, and it's working out fine. You like when that happens. That is what you want. That is very nice. Okay, so now the thing is, we can have this check. For that matter, we can give... Is there a queen sacrifice? No queen sacrifice. No queen sacrifice, guys. No queen sacrifice, right? It has to be one of the rook checks. There's no doubt about that. So the question is, which rook do we want to bring in? This rook could be useful on e file. So this rook could be brought onto the d1 file. That will provide extra support on d8. Of course, some great people might think that why is sir not playing queen e6 check? Because the pawn is going this way. It's not coming back. Mind you, these blunders happen. The one move that we should not forget, guys, is knight b5, but then queen takes. I don't quite like that. I think rook at d1, I'm going to go with that. If the king goes back, I wonder then if the second queen is the move, or we go knight b5 then in that case. I wonder what happens then. But all in all, this is a good game. This is how, if you also play games, you would love chess. That there is no doubt about. Okay. So now if we make a queen, it's a check. And by the way, if rook takes, it's mate. Okay. I repeat, if I promote, it's check. And then the rook has to take and the queen takes is mate. If I am not wrong. So this is incredible. So he has taken it, and I think this is mate. This is beautiful. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is nice. By the way, this is exactly how you calculate in chess. This is how you calculate in chess. I'm so happy. By the way, Nijapkar would have really loved this game. It was the Danish Gambit, man, and against 2000 in a classical game. And by the way, to all the seniors, I'm saying, this is the way you use your time. You see this time. You use your thinking time, playing time. You use your time. We were down on time. What was the time, guys? What was the time? We had 5 minutes. Our opponent has 19 minutes. Take that as 4 times the time. Who won? That is the thing here. Okay. So I'm really happy. Our rating, yes, I will show you the rating. Do I have an extra leeches board? Wait a minute, guys. I'll see if I have an extra leeches board here. No, I don't have an extra leeches board, but I'll share the rating. We have now got 16 more points, Samarth Nijapkar. So our new rating in classical is 1997. Just for 3 more points. Otherwise, we would be 2000. We are 1997 now. Nijapkar, this was a Danish Gambit game. I'm sure you liked it. By the way, let me come on cam. So this was beautiful. The seniors, number one, you should have seen how we played slowly. How every move, Nijapkar, Saumitra, Kshitij, Vihang, Ankit, how we played every move which was forcing. Point number one. How we took time. Point number two. Next is the points that I shared with you. You can make a note of that. Point number three. Next is our opponent was 2000 and it was a classical setup. So there is no excuse for losing here. We played well. And the development, that is the final point. Look at the final picture, guys. Look at the development. Look at this knight. Look at this rook. Look at this knight. Just look at those pieces. Okay, just the knight, the rook, both the knights. The knight on the rim is dim. The juniors, if you are watching, the knight on a6 is the exact definition of knight on the rim is dim. And the knight on g8 and the rook on h8 never moved. Never moved at all. Okay, so now let us go in the chat. And by the way, let me know now in the chat if you are ready to go to the tactics, or do you want me to wait for you to make a note of the 5 points I've shared with you? Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be good? If you want, please make a note of the 5 points. And before every move you make, find out about these points. Thank you so much, by the way. Saumitra, thank you so much. And now Nijapkar, here is the thing, Nijapkar especially, and those who were there yesterday, we had this player yesterday who said that, this coach loses to his students often. So here is the beauty, Nijapkar. Now you understand. Come on, let people express themselves. This is how we play. This is good. Yesterday you all played well and you won. So the better player always win. It's not about being a coach. It's not about being a student. It's not about being a grandmaster. If you play well, you are going to win. Chess honors good moves. Doesn't matter who you are. So today it was a fantastic victory. I only hope he was here. But today he is not here. Okay, fantastic. So have you made a note of those 5 points? Type yes if you have. I'll be on this screen. And by the way, please write down these 5 things. Write down these 5 things and please type yes in the chat. So Sanchit, please write it down. Others also write it down. How to select the moves. You have written it. People are saying yes in the chat. Yeah, people are saying yes in the chat. Okay, fine. So now let's get ready for tactics. We will try to do 3 tactics at least. In a long time, I have not seen a chat from Ankit. I hope he is here. Anyway, so let me get ready with our leeches window for the tactics. Meanwhile, you can continue with the chat. Okay guys, I am ready here. It's black to play. And let me give you the arrows. It's black to play here. So would you say that the best move for black is number 1 to take the pawn and give a check, or is it the rook attacking the queen, or is it the queen taking the knight, or is it the bishop coming back and attacking the queen, or is it none of these? Don't forget, there is this none of these options as well. So let me know which arrow. I'll start your countdown, which is 2 minutes as usual. Which arrow is the best? Seniors, keep your answers ready. Last 10 seconds. Seniors, keep your answer ready. And by the way, seniors should not just tell me the color. Seniors should go ahead and type the full line. Time is up. Seniors, do I get some lines from you? So Saumitra says red arrow. Saumitra says red. Chinmay is saying, Chinmay is not giving us the color. Okay, Sanchit is saying red arrow. Vihang says red arrow. Rupak says blue arrow. Bunch of Lions is with us, guys. Bunch of Lions is with us. So Bunch of Lions is saying golden arrow. So Parth Hardankar, I'm sure, will say it is chrome arrow. Nijapkar says it is red arrow. And I'm going to tell you now the best one. The best one here, according to me, is the red arrow. The red arrow is really the best. It's a sacrifice. That's why I said initiative, tempo and tactics. That's how you can slowly improve. So Srinath, good try. I saw your answer, but now take a look at what we can do here. All the newcomers, okay? Just watch this. Even Gokhale, you thought the blue arrow made sense, but watch this tactic. Let us go to the position. This is the position. It's black to play. So now the red arrow is better because after I take this knight and the queen recaptures, notice the position of the king and the queen, and then I will have knight f4, which is a beautiful fork here. I am sure you all see this. That's why I'll take best move. And now you have Rupak, Srinath, are you observing this? That's why you will do that. So we won a knight here, and after the knight, after this knight f4 check, we will win the queen and we will be a piece up. So success, absolutely brilliant. Congratulations to all those who thought of this correctly. Next position, please. The next position is also black to play. Here is the position. So let me give you the arrows. So what is the best in this position? Is it the queen b1 check? Is it the queen h3 check? Is it the knight d5, which is a fork, or is it the knight to d3, or is it none of these? 2 minutes for you to make up your mind and tell me what you think of this. I'll be with you in about a minute and 50 seconds. Good to see Pooja ma'am participating. Pooja ma'am, did you join just now or have you been always here? Time is up. Seniors, go ahead. Tell me what you think. Saumitra says red arrow again. Jay says red. Vihang also says red. Oh, Parth is possessive about the chrome arrow. Okay, let us look at why the seniors like the red arrow. So let me first of all, I think the guys with the red ones have it. The guys with the red arrow. By the way, Parth Hardankar is very possessive about the chrome arrow. He came up with that word. I am still not sure if it is chrome or what is called. I don't know. We have a debate whether it's yellow, golden, orange or chrome. So anyway, now why is that red arrow better? Saumitra and others also think that that is better because let's go back to the position. We have this particular setup where if we give a check, the king then goes to e1, there is this knight fork, and after this check, if the king goes to g1, there is mate. So guys, you have to observe such things. Take a good look at the diagram. I want the juniors, I beg your pardon, I want the juniors to enjoy this. Don't just think that, oh, sir is saying red because senior said red arrow. I'm telling you why they think it's red arrow. Just follow the red arrow. Queen h3 check. Then the king has only 2 squares. If the king goes on e1, then there is knight g2 fork. And if the king goes on g1, then queen g2 is mate with the help of the knight. That's why I think this is best. And now we can go for a fork. Look at that. Clearly that's a fork. You should see such things. You can take. Fantastic. So all those with the red arrow, fantastic. And Parth, no, not chrome arrow. Do people type chrome because they like the word chrome? Is it like that? I don't know. We will go for one more tactic, 2 more. Maybe we'll do 5. We have done 2. This will be the third one. If possible, we'll do 5. Okay. By the way, one more time, I will share the good news for Pooja ma'am and those who have just joined us. The good thing is that Omkar sir will be in action and he will play the tournament on Friday. This is the picture, if you remember. By the way, guys, you remember, right? This is how our class used to look, right? Do you remember? This is how our class used to look because of corona. I hope you've not forgotten. This is our demo board. This is how our class was, and he is going to play. So Soumitra, make sure that the settings are just perfect. This is the pick I had taken during his lecture, and look at the mate. You can see the mate in the picture, guys. It's rook d8 checkmate with the bishop support. You look at the image properly. Fantastic indeed. And okay, back to leeches then. So let me tell you what the position for now is. The position for the next one is white to play. So let's go to this, and it's not black to play anymore. It is white to play. And now I'm going to give you the options. Is it rook d6 check? Is it rook f7 check? Is it the pawn to f4? Or is it the rook to d2? Or is it none of these? Let me know, guys. Let me know. So your time starts now. Let me know. Guys, it is white to play. Guys, I beg your pardon. You're right. There are 2 green arrows. I so beg your pardon. I'll change that. This is actually blue. Beg your pardon, guys. I've corrected that. There are 4 colors now. Thank you so much for bringing it to my notice, guys. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I was mute. Again, so sorry. Okay, I was saying that tomorrow I will share the videos. Since we are missing the hub so much, tomorrow I will share some videos with you. I'll share some old photos with you, and you'll be very cheered up, because we will cover up the tournaments, we will cover up our exams, we will cover up the prize distribution, we will cover up the bullet games we played. So all that will happen. So tomorrow, watch out for tomorrow's lecture. And I was saying that when I show you the photo, I'll ask you the memory or the situation when the photo was taken. And also one more thing is that Kshitij, I appreciate your memory, because the Omkar sir's photo that I just showed you, yes, it was the Laskar game he was showing. By the way, you need to also tell me if you remember Tanuja ma'am or not, because we have not seen her now for a couple of months. She also takes good care of the hub. So please type a comment or two if you miss her. No doubt about it. At least I do. She manages the overall governance of the class. We miss her. Her contribution is very important. Okay, back to our leeches, guys. Back to our leeches. The next one is also going to be white to play. And here are your arrows. So, are we going to play queen takes h6? Is there a sacrifice? Are we going to play knight f6 check? Are we going to play queen takes d5? Or are we going to play the queen to some safe square? For example, are we going to play the queen to g3? Your time starts now. It is white to play. The time is up, and by the way, there are a few more good things to share. Tomorrow I am definitely going to share our hub memories with you, but along with that there is an important announcement I will make about conducting an online exam. You heard it right, an online chess exam. Remember, this is June. if things were normal, in June we have our chess exams. If you remember, I always conduct a revision, the exam level wise, if you remember. So the things are not normal, but I will conduct an online test, an online, not exactly a clearance test, but an online exam. You heard me right, and I'm sure I'm not muted right now, so you heard me. And I will tell you all the details about what is the syllabus and when we will do it and everything. But we will surely do it 100%. Tomorrow also, one more thing, we will need the notepad, because I might go ahead and extend that chess players session as well. So far we have studied 20 players, I believe. We went through 20 chess players that you should know. I will continue that series. At the moment, let's get back. And what's the verdict? What are the seniors saying? So the seniors are saying red arrow. Everyone is saying red arrow, and red arrow it is, because what will happen is, once you take, I think this was very similar to the one we did last time. It's again for a queen 4. So juniors, if you did not get that first one, you should have got this one. It is quite similar. In fact, the piece was also the same. It was the knight. In that position, it was the knight, and here again you have the knight. So what we will do is, we will take the knight, and now we will get a very nice fork. The knight will go to f6, it's a check, and we will be a piece up. And now the next position will be our last position for today. The last position. All the best, do well. Let me just go ahead and see. So Samartha, you have to study. It is just that it's not normal that I'm not able to conduct the level clearance test, but it is June. Under normal circumstances, we would have done the revision and we would be ready for the 4th Sunday of June, if you remember. But not this time. The things are not normal. So anyway, last tactical position here, and it is white to play. Let me show you the arrows. It is white to play. So should white take the knight? Let me give you that as an option, because so far we have been taking the knight. Is that the best move? Is it knight h6 check, which is the best move? Is the knight coming back to g3 attacking the queen the best move? Or is it the knight to e7 with a check the best move? Guys, your time starts, and let me know if you like one of these moves. I will pull up the chat window as well now. It's under a minute. And Alison Stephenson music, knight h6 check is the answer. Thank you so much for joining. You're welcome. Okay, so the answers have started coming. Some people like the blue arrow. Some people are saying the red arrow. Okay, Some people are saying the golden arrow. By the way, Sagar is saying it's the golden arrow. Some people will say that it's the chrome color. There is a big discussion about that being the golden arrow or the yellow arrow or the orange arrow. So the time is up. Seniors, what do you think it is? That seniors are thinking, or Sanchit is saying it's chrome, yellow, whatever you call it. Knight h6 check, g takes h6. Well, you have not mentioned what if king h8. After knight h6 check, it could be king h8, you know. So you could be, you should calculate that as well. The bunch of lions is saying the blue arrow. No, not quite. Nijapkar says knight h6 check, g takes h6. Okay, so the chrome arrow or the yellow arrow or whatever you call is the right answer indeed. And again, this is to the juniors watching. I'd never say the chrome arrow or golden arrow because the seniors are saying so. It's because it's the right answer. But the seniors, I would have appreciated had you calculated what happens after knight h6 check and king h8. You didn't tell me that. The king can go to h8 as well, right? Let us go ahead and find out. So what I'm saying is that if you like the chrome arrow or the golden, whatever it is, what if king h8? So you should calculate, is it the knight h taking f7 or knight g taking f7? It's very important you tell me that. So let us see. Knight takes f7 is mate. Whichever knight, right? Whichever knight takes f7 is mate. So let us go ahead and execute and see what the computer plays after knight s6. That is, by the way, the best move. So the g pawn has taken, as you all thought that would be the case. And then queen takes f7 check. Then there's king. Why am I using that color, by the way? Queen f7 check. The force move is king h8. Isn't that forced? And finally, the calculation up until mate. Queen takes f7 is not mate, by the way. Queen takes h7 is mate. Now you would have this with the knight support. It's checkmate. Beautiful. Now I would just ask one quick question. We decided that this would probably be the last position we'll do. Would you like to do one more position before we stop? Quickly type yes if interested, because it's almost time for us to stop. By the way, Alison Stephenson's music, you've joined us at the time when it's almost time for us to stop. But thank you so much for joining. One more position is what I could do. The knight on the G file. Yes, that's right. The knight on the G file. Okay, so let me know, guys. Can we do one more position and then probably stop? So Ankit is probably the first to type yes, and then I get a lot of yes, yes, and yes. So the next position is again white to play. Let us go ahead and do one more position and then we will end the session. It is white to play. Here are your choices. By the way, very important, Alison Stephenson, Stephens on music, or Stephenson on music, what is it? Stephenson on music. I often give arrows, but the answer could be none of these. So be mindful of that. Maybe the answer is none of these. So here are your options. It's white to play. So should we go ahead and do the queen e6 check? That's your first option. Or are you interested in playing moves such as the f4? Are you interested in playing a move such as the knight to b5? Or are you interested in playing the move queen to f5? Your time starts now. You have a couple of minutes. Let me know. I'll be with you in about a minute and 50 seconds. Make sure that you calculate, guys. Very important. The time is almost over, and the answers, the seniors, I think everybody seems to be unanimous about this. Red arrow, and red arrow it is. I think we have a unanimous answer here. I don't think people in this case are divided over what it is. And it is right, because the red arrow gives you a 4 and you win the hanging knight. This is the thing. Most of the tactics revolve around the hanging pieces. So always beginners, whoever are students who are new, well, it's very important that you understand this, that the pieces, the hanging pieces, often tactics revolve around them. So let me go ahead and actually execute it. Yeah, the red arrow will make sense. So I'm just making it clear for the new admissions. Queen f5 check, and we will pick up the knight hanging piece on h7. So let me just go ahead and do that. Of course, it will be a bad idea just to go ahead and exchange queen for queen, when in fact you could pick up a free piece. So that is another thing that some players do. Alright then, magnificent session, absolutely. And all our new viewers are welcome. By the way, they joined us a little late, but again we are going to meet tomorrow. Our friend is from UK. You're welcome. Tomorrow again we will meet at 1800 hours IST, Indian Standard Time, and that's about plus 5:30 GMT time. And we will tomorrow have a session for the A batch. Remember all I said. First, we will share some memories about the hub, because we are doing online sessions now. We are missing the hub. So I'll share some photos. And of course, tomorrow we are going to study about some more players. We did study about 20 players so far, the names. You should be familiar with top chess players. We'll continue that tomorrow. And I will present about 3 to 4 study games. We always do that. Tomorrow I'm going to do at least three study games, where we will get to learn a lot. So I hope that you enjoyed the session. Nijapkar, again I'm saying especially to you, since you are a Danish Gambit player like me, and the first game was awesome. Go ahead and see that on my Leeches ID, because it's of course there in my profile. Enjoyed bringing this session. We will stop for now. We will meet tomorrow at 1800 hours Indian Standard Time. And thank you so much for joining us, our friend from UK. Bye everybody, and cheers. Enjoy your